Chapter 10. Rory to the Rescue. Worm, can't you do something? Anything to stop Maldred? Drake thought. But Worm didn't answer. He's not yours. You can't take him, Drake shouted at Maldred. Just watch me do it, Maldred said with an evil grin. Drake watched helplessly as Maldred pulled on the Hydra's rein. The Hydra turned away from the tower. The wizard began to fly off, with Worm floating beside him. Then Drake heard a loud roar. Vulcan came speeding through the air with Rory on his back. They had circled the castle. Vulcan stopped at the tower. Climb on, Rory yelled. Drake swiftly got on the saddle behind Rory. He put his arms around her. Hurry, Drake yelled as Vulcan took off. Drake's stomach jumped. When he looked down, the ground was spinning. Vulcan, stop Maldred, cried Rory. Vulcan soared until he caught up with the Hydra. Maldred slapped the reins against the Hydra's back, spurring her to go faster. But Vulcan was fast too. He flew over the Hydra's head. Then he made a big upside-down loop in the air. Drake gripped Rory and closed his eyes tightly. When he opened them, Vulcan was head-to-head with the Hydra. Maldred glared at the Dragon Masters. You children are annoying me, he said. Hydra! All four heads snapped to attention. Then all four mouths opened. Drake could see a green tornado swirling inside each one. Vulcan, fire! Rory yelled. Make it big, Drake added. Before Vulcan could attack, Maldred pointed a finger at the dragon. Sizzling red lightning shot out and zapped Vulcan. The dragon froze in midair. Vulcan, fly! Rory pleaded. But the dragon was like a big statue floating in the air. Drake looked down. He and Rory couldn't jump. They were too high up. Hydra, attack! Yelled Maldred. Chapter 11. The Red Dragonstone. The Hydra aimed all four heads at Drake and Rory. The poison will hit us, Drake thought. It melted stone, he shivered. Suddenly, a bright white light filled the air. Drake had to shield his eyes. He could hear the Hydra squealing. The light faded, and Drake looked up. Anna and Khepri swooped down from the sky. Khepri was shining a sunbeam on the Hydra. The four-headed dragon thrashed around, confused. The poison tornado shot sharply to the left, missing Drake and Rory. Maldred lost his hold on the reins and scrambled to grab them. Poof! Diego appeared on the tower. Diego, you did it, Drake said happily. We came as fast as we could, Diego said. Then Shu swept in, carrying Bo and Griffith. She flew to the tower and Griffith jumped off to join Diego. Shu can cure dark magic spells, Drake remembered. She cured Emperor Song back in Bo's kingdom. Bo, Maldred used dark magic on Vulcan, Drake yelled. Shu can heal him. Bo nodded and steered Shu down to Vulcan. The Hydra was still squirming under the light of Khepri's sunlight. Maldred struggled to control her. He couldn't stop Shu. Bo whispered in Shu's ear. A misty blue cloud floated from her mouth. Then a light blue mist rained down on Vulcan's head. The mist shimmered in the air. When the mist settled, Vulcan began to flap his wings. Vulcan, you're okay, Rory cried. Over on the tower, Diego and Griffith faced each other. Lightning shot from their fingertips, and a ball of blue energy began to form between them. We can defeat Maldred, but we need time, Griffith called out to the Dragon Masters. Don't let him get away, added Diego. Maldred grabbed one of the reins. With his other hand he shot a red beam at Khepri. Anna steered Khepri away, and the attack missed. But her sunbeam stopped, and the Hydra started to calm down. Maldred held up the red stone. Rory, can you steer Vulcan next to the Hydra? Drake asked. If we can destroy the red dragonstone, I think Worm and the Hydra will be back to normal. No problem, Rory said. She steered Vulcan sharply to the left. Maldred held out the red dragonstone. A beam shot out, headed right for Vulcan. Rory, look out, Drake warned. Chapter 12. Poof! Rory pulled hard on Vulcan's rein, pulling him straight up. Drake's stomach lurched. The red beam zipped past them. Vulcan dove back down like a hawk diving for prey. He flew so fast that Maldred couldn't have hit him if he tried. Now! Rory yelled as they sped past Maldred. Drake reached out and smacked the red dragonstone out of Maldred's hand. It flew through the air. "No!" the evil wizard cried. The dragon stone hit one of the towers and shattered into pieces. "Yes!" Drake cheered. Pop! The red bubble around Worm vanished. The red in his eyes slowly changed from red back to green. Drake glanced at the Hydra. All 8 of her eyes looked normal too. Worm turned to face Maldred. The dragon's eyes glowed green. Then his whole body began to glow. Maldred floated up off the Hydra's back. Worm used the power of his mind to keep Maldred floating in the air. "Stop! I command you!" the wizard screamed as he dangled in midair. The Hydra's 4 heads looked around confused. Then she flew away. "The spell is ready now," Griffith yelled. "Everyone, get away from Maldred." The Dragon Masters quickly flew out of the way. The blue ball of energy between Griffith and Diego was the size of a small boulder. The wizard's hair stood on end. They moved their arms, pushing the energy toward Maldred. The evil wizard looked angry as the ball of blue energy raced closer to him. "This is not over. Nothing can hold me," Maldred yelled, and then, poof, he disappeared. Everyone moved to the tower. The dragons hovered above the 2 wizards. "Did Maldred escape? Where did he go?" Drake asked. "He did not escape. We sent Maldred to the Wizards' Council prison. It's quite magic-proof," Diego explained. "I'm very proud of you all," Griffith said. "Drake and Rory especially. You defended the castle. King Roland will be told of your bravery." "Oh no, King Roland," Anna cried. "He's going to be angry that we left Queen Rose Festival in such a hurry." "That is true," Griffith agreed. "Worm can get us there quickly," Drake said. Then he paused. "That is, if Worm and Vulcan are invited now." Griffith smiled. "Everyone touch Worm," he said. The Dragon Masters reached for Worm. Diego and Griffith touched him too. "Worm, take us to Queen Rose's castle," Drake said. Worm's body glowed green again. Whoosh! They all disappeared. Chapter 13. The Queen's Surprise. The Dragon Masters, wizards, and dragons appeared in the courtyard of Queen Rose's castle. Drake's eyes got wide as he took in the amazing sight. King Roland and Queen Rose sat at a head table. People from the kingdom of Arkwood sat at other tables, all piled high with food. Everyone gasped at the sight of the dragons. Then they began to clap and cheer. "How wonderful!" Queen Rose cried as she stood up. "You tricked us, King Roland. I thought your dragons had left us, but that was just part of the surprise. They have returned with 2 new dragons." King Roland coughed. "Yes, that is exactly what I planned," he said. "Griffith, why don't you introduce our new dragons?" Griffith stepped forward. "This is Worm," he said, pointing to the brown dragon. "Worm may not look strong, but his mind is powerful. He is the one who transported us from Bracken to here, all in the blink of an eye." Everyone clapped. Drake could hear the crowd whispering. "And this is Vulcan," Griffith said, pointing. "Rory, show us what Vulcan can do, safely." Rory nodded. "I can do that," she said, but her voice was shaking. Drake guessed she was nervous that Vulcan might not listen. Suddenly, her dragon stone began to glow. Rory closed her eyes. "I can hear Vulcan's voice in my head," she cried, smiling. "It's happening. We're finally connecting." Vulcan slowly stepped into the center of the courtyard. A thin flame streamed from his nostrils. One by one, he lit up the candlesticks on each table. Queen Rose clapped. "Wonderful. You are lucky to have such amazing dragons, King Roland. Thank you for sharing them with us today." King Roland smiled. "They are amazing," he said proudly. The Dragon Masters looked at one another and smiled. "Now everyone knows how special you are," Drake told Worm, and his dragon smiled. Chapter 14. A New Dragon? The next afternoon the Dragon Masters went to the Valley of Clouds for flying practice. Before they could begin, King Roland marched in with his guards. "I must have a word with you all," he said in his gruff voice. Oh no, Drake thought. Is the king mad about us bringing Worm and Vulcan to see the queen? But he seemed so happy with us last night. "Griffith has told me about a great battle that happened yesterday," the king said. "A battle against a dark wizard and a four-headed beast." "It wasn't a beast," Rory piped up. "That dragon didn't do anything wrong. The wizard made it attack us." "Still, it was very brave of you all," the king said. "And I am grateful." Drake could not believe his ears. Is this really happening? Is the king thanking us? "Tonight I am throwing a big feast in your honor," King Roland went on. "Drake and Rory, I understand you have family in our kingdom. They will be invited." "Yay!" Drake and Rory cheered. "I may even invite Queen Rose," the king added. His cheeks got a little red. He coughed. "Since she is very fond of the dragons." He turned to Griffith. "And you may invite that little round fella who came around." "Thank you, your majesty," Griffith said. "Diego will be pleased." "Yes, thank you," the Dragon Master said. The king left and everyone started talking at once. "A feast?" cried Bo. "I'll get to see my mom," Drake cried. "And my dad," added Rory. Suddenly, Bo pointed up to the sky. "What is that?" The Hydra was flying across the forest on the other side of the valley. The four-headed dragon swooped down and landed nearby. "Oh, she looks sad," Anna said. "Anna is right," Griffith said. "Come, let us see if the Hydra needs our help." Together, they slowly approached the dragon. Worm slithered ahead of everyone. He stood in front of the Hydra for a minute. Then Drake heard Worm's voice in his head. "She is far from home," he said, "but her home is not safe. She would like to stay here." "Worm says she needs to stay with us," Drake told everyone. "Where she is from isn't safe." "Worm told you all that?" Griffith asked. Drake nodded. "Yes, I know that Worm could talk to other dragons, but this is the first time he's shared their thoughts with me." "So, can the Hydra stay?" Rory asked. "Of course," Griffith said. "We will give her a cave of her very own." The Hydra slowly raised their four necks and stared at the Dragon Masters. Her eyes were a pretty yellow color. Anna approached her and gently stroked her neck. "I wonder what her name is," Anna asked. Griffith smiled. "That will be for her new Dragon Master to choose." "A new Dragon Master?" said Drake. "Really?" "Yes," Griffith said. "The Dragonstone will choose one for us soon." "I wonder who it will be," Bo asked. Drake smiled. "I can't wait to find out." The end.